It's Tarawera week, and lest you think further faster in Christchurch, you're like, no, Tarawera's too flat. We like the Craigieburn Range. We like taking an EPIRB with us everywhere we go because we might die. We like taking spikes. We like taking poles. We have to have adventure dogs. We sell those flasks that explode out your back if you're buried in an avalanche. No, Rocky, further faster, the man himself, he's coming up. He's racing Tarawera this year.
Is he?
He is. He's just knocked off Ultra Trail Kosciuszko. He smashed the 50k and he's doubling up. He's doing the Tarawera 50k. So team, you know what to do. If you see a largely bearded, hairy man, he's so hirsute, with a northern accent, you scream the jingle in his face, because there's nothing more that man loves than having the further faster jingle yelled into his face when he's going about his daily business.
Further each time or faster each time? How does this work?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But what I do know is further faster, if you're looking for anything before Tarawera or any of the big races this summer, they're the best independently owned outdoor store in the known universe. Whether you're heading out on climbing, paddling, tramping or running adventures, look no farther than Further Faster for all your gear and expertise needs. Over the summer, head down to 57A Buchan Street, Sydenham, Otutahi, Christchurch, or hit them up at furtherfaster.co.nz, and you should yell this jingle in his face they're about to hear right now. And we'll even tell you his bib number, so make it easy. It'll go something like, further faster, they're in Christchurch. Rocky is hairy and so is Badger. Jules is nice and Jacob is delicious. Go to further faster now.
Oh, further faster, they're in Christchurch. Rocky is hairy and so is Badger. Jules is nice and Jacob is delicious. Go to further faster now.
Church Radio.
I'm just imagining Rocky having like 50 people just sing the Further Faster jingle.
So it does happen more than you might think. And I remember running Kepler one year and we were doing the alternate course. And so that was essentially you do the Luxmore Grunt and then another 15k out and back, and it's soul destroying. I was running back down the hill and he was coming up the hill because he was doing the Luxmore Grunt. And I, of course, did the only appropriate thing, which was to yell that jingle into his face as I passed him. And I was continuing for a while, and there's a dude behind me, and we were running in silence, just running. And then he pipes up, he goes, "Wow, advertising really works, doesn't it?"
It does.
Tell you what else works. Dirt Church Radio works. Episode 357 of Dirt Church Radio, the trail and ultra marathon podcast of Aotearoa and the world. And I am Matt Raymond.
I'm Ali Pottinger.
And I'm Kerry Suter.
Hell yeah, it's the Tarawera Ultra Trail preview. We do this every year. This is great. This is a tradition. But it's summer in New Zealand. I mean, apart from the tropical thunderstorms, flooding, vast variations in temperature, it's been some pretty amazing races starting to kick off. And where were you guys this weekend?
The goat, Tongariro. Yeah, it was cool.
How was it on the bell curve of like volcanic Hades to subantarctic blistering winds?
It started quite lovely. It got a little bit chilly later in the day, just for a couple of hours, I'd say.
Yeah. The goats, it's like such an iconic event. What are they like at about 22 or 23 years now?
Year.
Yeah, so it's been going forever, and it's real egg and spoon stuff, as Jason Cameron would say. And I was on Gear Check, so chatting to a lot of people, and I'd always ask them how many goats they'd done. And anyone who said they're doing their first goat, I would always ask them what have they been told, and rest assured that it's much, much worse than that. And it was pretty slow going. The trails are mucky, and it's just, I think pound for pound is probably one of the hardest, per kilometre races in the country, and that would probably be Australasia. I can't imagine many races that are slower going than the goat. But just so epic and rewarding at the same time. So hard can still be fun, right?
Oh, absolutely. I've never done the goat. It's something that I've always desperately wanted to do. And when Rebecca and I were younger, we could never get our fingers on the trigger at the time. There was childcare, there was all that sort of thing, and then life carries on. But the thing that I take from the goat is it's in Tongariro. And if you want an indication of what it's like, there's that bit in Lord of the Rings where Gollum is splashing around in the ice-cold stream after the trout. And it seems like it's just that for 23k.
Can I just really quickly say, what a weird coincidence, because that's just on the mountain road as you go up from Ohakuni to Turoa. And I once ran around Ruapehu, the 72k loop, and I parked on the side of the road, having known nothing about anything, Lord of the Rings, and I was going for a swim in the pool, so I could have a wash before I drove home, and people kept walking up, taking a photograph of me in this pool, and then walking away. And after about like the fourth or fifth person who had a book, I'm like, what are you doing? And then they came over in a strange accent, explained to me that I was in a rock pool that Gollum was in when he caught the fish. It was just a weird thing. That these only could happen in New Zealand, right?
Absolutely. And what was the, it's such a, I think it's, what is it? It goes down from 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon to 2 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Can I add though, 2027, which sounds ridiculous to say, you and Rebecca must be at the go. You've got to do it.
Absolutely.
We can make it happen.
No. Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Where we get your training plan from?
We know some people. We know.
We'd love to see it, Matt. We'd love to help you host. It was so cool. Such a great event. Cool. Come to the goat. If you haven't before, come be part of it. Love it. Or
And I guess that's the thing, isn't it? It's one of those iconic races that is so celebrated, and it sells out, or it used to, traditionally it sold out. I'm not sure if it does now. I'm sure it does. But it was like so difficult to get into, and they've never gone, hey, we could do a double goat, we could do a triple goat, we could do a mega goat and ultra goat. It's just, it is what it is. It's 23 kilometers thereabouts.
19.
19.
19.
Right,
and the fastest guys are doing 2 hours flat.
Right.
And the girls are about 15 behind that. But so it's
Maya,
she's freak amazing athlete. But really, it's been around forever. It will be around forever. It will always be the GOAT. It was, for a long time, there's only about 5 events in Australasia that would sell out immediately. There was Ultra Trail Australia, Kepler, GOAT, and I remember 2 others, maybe Old Ghost and one other, as it was on a very, very short list of events that if you didn't, it was fastest click, and that's how it is. So that's the caliber of the GOAT.
How did did you see Inia Raumati in his goat costume?
Yes. Yeah. Apparently he'd had a new goat suit for the event, but apparently it didn't go well. I'm not sure what the problem was, but...
Did you not see? He blew the ass out of it. The back end wig.
Oh, right. It was just all the friction in there.
Possibly. He was dropping raisins everywhere.
Who knows?
He's a powerful man. Right. Well, look, why don't we crack into it? And speaking of events that have been around for a long time, what year is this for Tarawera?
16?
No, is it?
17?
Because it was 2008. Was it 8 or 9?
9.
The first one? 9. So that's
16.
7.
We missed one.
Oh,
Remember the
17th year.
Yeah.
But the 16th running.
I believe so. I think we're at
17th year, 16th running, global pandemics.
Yeah.
Notwithstanding.
No.
And linking it back to, not that everything is Dirt Church Radio, I remember Eugene and I back in the, 7 years ago, the first guest we ever had on the podcast was Paul Charteris. And for those who don't know, because there has been an exponential growth in people interested in the sport, people interested in Tarawera, people running Tarawera. And like you said, Kerry, it used to be, you said off mic, kind of the hairy-legged sort of cadre of ultra runners, and now everyone knows about it. And I see people in the forest who are training for Tarawera, and I don't know them, which is odd, right? Because you used to know everyone who was doing it. Take us through, what was the germination of that event?
Paul, I think, realised that there was a way to connect the trails from Rotorua to Kawerau, his hometown, and he really wanted to, share where he was from with other people. And, he'd managed to link it up and get access through the Kawerau forest. And at the time, I think it was possibly the longest event, distance-wise, available, a traditional trail run type event. There was Kepler, which was 60, but the original course was gazetted as 75, and I think we ended up at 83 or 84 Ks, I think, in the end. So we ended up with pretty much bang on 50 miles, and he just really wanted to share, as, we've always done in this region, hosted and invited people to come and be part of Rotorua and the Bay of Plenty. And it was just, there was 60 odd people, I think, in the first event doing the first one. Of course, there was a relay at the time, and it sprouted wings, and I think it caught. Maybe it was on the zeitgeist moment where it was really growing, and he wanted to feed people into Western states with it, and he just had this. He was so passionate about hosting. You'd get to go and sleep at his house. You'd sleep on the floor on a beanbag. The guy had no furniture for a while, and we just everyone was just dirt bagging it and just coming to be part of this thing. And the volunteerism, like everything that you experience now with trail running in New Zealand was at some sort of seedling germination point at that time in 2009. And so watching to see what it's grown into and how, the roots have spread and the plants have grown differently has been just amazing and special, because the calendar is absolutely rammed now. Following that, there were times when, event directors would get on the phone to one another and they go, oh, look, I think I'll do an event in October because that doesn't clash with your event in November. And, there was just, there was 3 or 4 trail runs going on in the world or in New Zealand, and that was it. And just the wings, how big it is now, you couldn't imagine.
No, you couldn't. And you're right about the zeitgeist, isn't it? It sort of, it was slightly pre-Born to Run, but that kind of era, wasn't it? Where people were doing, Western states were still relatively attainable. You've got Broken Arrow, you've got all those things, and Paul was working and living over there, and yeah, Western States was a race that not many people knew about.
And at the time, what do we have, like Ultra Marathon Man by Dean Carnazzi? There was like 1 or 2 running books, ultra running books. There was, there was certainly no magazines. There was nothing, to feed people into the sport. No glamorous YouTube things. There was nothing like that.
No, it's incredible how, and I mean, gosh, I know he doesn't actually anymore. I think we've sort of transcended that thing, isn't it, where people kind of were throwing a lot of snark at Dean Karnazes. He was certainly he was my gateway drug into ultramarathon running, a CUMI library, seeing a picture of ultramarathon man, and I was like, hey, I look more like that guy than I do like, and let's just pull a name out of the hat, and Christian Day. I look more like Dean Karnazes at the time than I did Christian Day. And I was like, okay, maybe this is something that, that I could get into, and reading those stories he threw up in his Lexus and everything like that. Just amazing. So, I mean, you were involved, Kerry, you and Ali, you've both been intimately involved in the race over the years. Kerry, what was your first involvement with Tarawera?
I emailed Paul Charteris out of the blue and was like, hi, can I be a real scumbag and try and get a free entry off you because I'm such a big deal? And he had I wish I'd known at the time. I thought I was something, and he very kindly gave me a race entry. He wanted myself and Chris Morrissey, who had just come back from representing New Zealand at mountain running champs in Europe, and, one heck of a great, athlete and AA hard bastard. He wanted a few names to go hammer and tong, so he invited me to come along. And I just remember racing with him. I remember rolling along doing 4-minute Ks down Pipeline Road towards Tiki Tapu, and look at my watch and sort of saying to Chris, hey, we're doing 4-minute Ks. This, of course, is a time when your GPS was attached to your shoulder. It wasn't on your watch, and no one else had one. I remember people saying to me, I don't know what you need all that shit for. Like, there's no need for you to record any of that sort of stuff. And I was like, so funny looking back now, laughing and going, how I was pedaling with rock and stone back then. And where it's come now to Lugano, which anyway, we battled through the race, and I think I ended up winning the first one in like 7 hours. And then when it became the 100K, I was lucky enough to come back. I always thought you should try and defend your title, so that if you lose your title, at least you get to give it to the new champion, and the champion can then say, I beat the guy that used to win it. So I, always tried to defend my titles. I went back the next year and won it in just a bit over 9 hours or something for the 100K to Koto. And then I stepped back from doing very silly distances because they hurt me a lot. I was too punished after them. It was be too long recovering from Tarawera base my legs didn't work. So jokes on me now.
Was it and that's a good thing too, because that's a helpful thing for people to hear, right? Because especially back in those days, it was that kind of mountain person. You just, the downside of ultramarathon man is he's like, I ran 20 million ultramarathons and I did this and this and this, and everyone went, okay, cool, I could probably do that. And we didn't have the access to, I don't know, the internet or any kind of feedback or any of the information, and a lot of people got broken. So did you find that, with your love of running and your love of, club running and distance running and every, any surface, any distance, did you find that it just knock the stuffing out of you, basically.
I remember being so battered after ultra marathons because you didn't really understand a lot of the conditioning exercises or the training modalities that we do nowadays, and there wasn't the plethora of information. I think there was like Tim Noakes' Law of Running, which was more sort of centered around South African approaches to
Rip the middle out of that book.
Sorry,
rip the middle out of that book.
Yeah, there's bits and pieces in there that are good and bad, but like anything, you've got to sit down and work out what's right and what works. And trying to work out what the fringe sciences around getting the correct carbohydrate loading for events like that, fueling rates. And I was on one lepin every 45 minutes, and that was it.
Yikes.
There's just no way. And if anyone's had a lepin, they would know.
Lepins are the worst.
The worst. It's struggle street, and you definitely, you're all building the parachute on the way to the ground, and we're all learning, and it's just amazing how far the sport has come now. With all the sponsorships and the branding and the teams and the Terex houses and the fancy shoes and carbon blades, and it's just like you're sitting there and you're like, oh, my sport, but it's not my sport. It's always been our sport, and one of the things about our sport is that we've always welcomed the new people to it with open arms. It's always been that supportive thing, and it's taken us all on a journey. I think that people have been doing ultra marathons for 5 years probably look back and remark how much it's changed. So I mean, so will it always. I don't think that anything stays the same. Everything is always changing.
Absolutely. What about you, Ali? What was your first introduction to Tarawera?
I think it was the marathon and 50K in 2015. And it was kind of like that, hanging out at Paul Charteris's house and everyone knowing everyone. And then 2016, obviously, like we're kind of going out beforehand, course clearing, and a great big group of friends all helping clear the trails, making sure it's beautiful for race day. So, yeah, it was kind of the real community aspect and the real heart that was poured into it, like the raking. Like we took all these rakes out on boats and we raked the trails.
We raked the lake.
Do you know of any other race that does that?
No.
Well, one year we literally raked the entire course. The whole course was raked. Every kilometre had a rake over it. That's how smooth and like it was Western States' approach to maintenance. It's crazy.
Yeah, so it's pretty amazing to kind of go and see where it's come from. Like obviously I kind of, how many years in was that? That was like 6 years after it had started to be kind of there, and then now see the scale of it. Like we always kind of have called it the big friendly and originally it was because everybody knew everyone and was like, oh, hey, here's, like so-and-so's doing the 100K or whatever. And I think that friendliness has continued despite the size growing. But it's just weird now that you don't know everyone.
Yeah, it is weird that you don't know everyone. And people come and they go, isn't it? People's journey with Tarawera, it changes or it finishes, but they're always kind of part of the family. My thing was I was a pacer on the fire year. So my good friend and my brother, my twin, Dr. Tago Marapara, he is one day younger than me. So I'm March 9th, 1992, and he's March 10th, 1992. And no, not 1992.
I was like, what is that?
Yeah. No, so yeah, our birthdays are March 9th and March 10th. And Tago and I knew each other, and this is dating, we knew each other from Daily Mile, and we'd run the Arthur Lydiard Legend a couple of times together and really enjoyed that and was really getting into it, and didn't have the kind of the spend or the family bandwidth or the financial headroom to undertake a ultra marathon at the time. But he was like, hey, I need a pacer. I'm going to do this thing, the 100K. And I was like, oh, righto, that sounds excellent. And it was the fire year. So we ended up, bunch of us pacers, they said, oh, no, there's going to be no pacers from the outlet. And we said, well, what if we could get a boat over there? And Paul, do you remember that? A bunch of pacers got a boat. That's how they had pacers.
Wow, what a great workaround.
Yeah, we chartered a boat and took the boat out there. And it was absolutely fantastic. And I remember run. They changed the course, and it was in those days. Like. And this is the thing, isn't it? You have this perspective of it. It's a big race. It's an ultra marathon, and everything you think about is if a marathon is organized, then an ultra marathon must be ultra organized. But it's sort of the inverse of that. And I remember leading him over. I picked him up at the outlet, ran out to the, ran through all the kind of Lord of the Rings stuff, and then back over the top. And we were heading out to, I think it was Lake Okaraka, and they changed the cutoff, and they were saying, we got confronted by some bikers, and I was saying to them, we got 3 hours to go, man. We're going to get to Okaraka, we'll put you down, change your clothes, it'll be sweet as. And we got told 6K out that we had half an hour to go, and it was getting dark. We didn't have headlamps, and we hammered it. And I remember running in front of him, and it was kind of getting dark, and I was like, oh, I'm going to fall over here, but this is going to, and we missed the cutoff, I think, by like 1 minute. And yeah, he would, and he's too nice a man. I was like, kick up the stink and they'll let us through, but he took the 85K finish. So that was my first introduction, and I was hooked. And then came back next year to run the thing, and of course next year was a cyclone, so didn't get my 100K finish until the year after that. So yeah, it was just, what an incredible time. And looking back, it certainly seemed a lot of stress at the time, but I wish I'd sort of had the wherewithal to enjoy it, because certainly things were a bit of a slower pace then. Hey, inversely, not running wise, but everything around the race.
No, don't do that to Tim Olsen or like some of the characters that we've had on our course. So.
No, well, and everyone, like I remember my time for the finishing as a mid-pack runner who had I think there's still bags of Perpetuum at Humphreys Bay. They've got MR on them. If you find them in the bush, you can have them. Complete explosion at Hamner, or implosion at Humphreys Bay, and I still crossed the line. It was light when I finished, and I think about these, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh, I'm so disappointed with my time. If I put that up now, I'd be like, I did okay. It's interesting, isn't it, how things have sort of inversely, they feel like things have gotten a lot more pressured with the media, and not just about Tarawera, but most things, but what am I trying to say here? It's gotten more maybe inclusive and a little bit more relaxed in terms of, hey, we're out here for a day and it's going to be amazing and we're going to experience things.
Do you just quickly, with those years that you ran, do you remember some of the people at the front, some of the names that were on?
Tim Olsen. I have a Nuria Pikas. I have a photo with Sage Canaday when we went to pick up our headlamps together, and he was very nice and asked me how my race went. Yeah. And I remember being passed by this guy. I don't know who he was. He was pacing Sage Canaday. At the time, Targo and I were running up the hill, and this guy came running down the hill, and he was yelling about lead runners and stuff, and he passed me, and I thought, I've never seen Targo and I looked at each other. We were like, we've never seen two human beings run that fast ever. So that was of course you.
That was when Sage and I ran the entire climb up to West Nukataina at a reasonable clip, and he was 80 something k's in. I'd already done a relay leg that morning, but I don't know. I guess these things happen at the front of races. It's been a long time since they've been there, but to put in perspective, people are running up. If anyone knows, the Okataina climb is about 5 or 6 kilometres up to West Nukataina, and it's pretty long, pretty tough in places, pretty steep at times. And yeah, this is what they're doing. This is one of the things. The emphasis has always been on performance at the front and enjoyment everywhere else in the field. And Paul has spared no expense over the years, and they still spend no expense to get some of the best names in the business on the start line. So you can be part of not just the big friendly, but one of the most competitive races in Australia. Yeah. In fact, probably more competitive in many regards than anything I can think of in Australia. So the level has always been so high. The names have just been amazing. Ali, to think of some, Jason Schlag.
Mike Wardian.
Yep.
Mike Wardian, Jim Walmsley.
Oh, yeah, that German guy.
Just Jim Walmsley.
Sandy Nyquist. That Dylan Bowman guy, he came on our podcast and then he started another podcast. He got the idea of us. Seems like it's doing okay.
Yep.
Who else? So many people.
Ruth Croft,
Dan Jones. I mean, you don't think of them as being, they're
Ruby
just
Muir.
Hometown heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christian Day.
It is, Ruby Muir. I mean, when she was running in 5 fingers, I mean,
yeah.
God. That was a thing,
Yeah, we went through that era. Yep, that was zeitgeisty for a little bit, and then we did the no carbohydrates thing for a couple of years. That seemed to have disappeared. All of those people died on a hill.
And their 5 fingers. I mean, I would like to shout out to Krista McDougall, who has you know, there's a physiotherapist listening to this now going like, I got to buy my second house because of that man.
Yeah, Ducky Kyle's shoes. In fact, Ducky Kyle's
I have a pair of Lunar sandals just down there. I love my Lunar sandals. Yeah.
great.
Fantastic. What are you looking forward to this year?
Oh, I think more of the same, hopefully. Sunshine, lots of friendly faces, watching the competition play out because that's always interesting, and seeing people enjoy this beautiful region because it's pretty neat to be able to showcase it to the world.
Yeah, it's just smiles all week. You know, like people come into town because there's so many days of things. You know, there's the event director's barbecue and, you know, bits and pieces that sort of spans across the weekend, you know, and I just, I feel like your face gets sore from smiling at people and your arms get sore from hugging people. And it's just like, it's one of those things that's like you see people from far flung corners of the world that you haven't seen perhaps for a year or more. And it just really fills the cup up. And, you know, we just host our little guts out here. And, you know, Lucy Bartholomew's coming in a week or two to stay with us and hang out. So, you know, you just get, you know, faces familiar and faces new, and I love it. It's so cool. It's my favorite time of the year. It's really, for me, it's a real Christmas. It's the bit I look forward to.
What about you, Matt?
I think the same, and I think for me, it's sort of growing into that sense of what's this now? This is probably 4th year of being properly involved in the space. You know, I did some stuff when I was editor of Kiwi Trail Run. I came down. Paul was really generous. You know, that was the Dylan Bowman year where I had most anxiety-provoking moment of, well, probably not actually, but one of them. Kareem Sam McCutcheon, who's like, I'm going to come through a dead sprint. You've got to keep up with me and change bottles. I was like, cool. Okay, well, there's that going to pack. And of course he wanted to chat, didn't he? He was like, so tell me about what's happening. And I was like, and then you're about 2 minutes down. But no one died, no bottles were dropped. So that was pretty good. But what am I looking forward to? Yeah, I'm looking forward to the people. I'm looking forward to seeing how the races play out. If I have a little dream. I mean, I love watching the sharp end of the 102 because I think that is world class, you know.
Yeah.
And I wish more people would come down for it, but the people who do come down for it, holy moly, you know, it's always a ding dong. And is it a golden ticket race this year?
Yeah.
Yep.
Here we go. So all eyes on the prize for Western States. And I think too, you know, we've got our own little local rivalry in the 100 mile. And I really do like that. I'm excited about that too. I think that's always...
Can I just add, I wish it wasn't. I wish we had more internationals.
I do too.
Like coming and throwing down because it's 100
But that leads
miles.
to it, right? Like the more they look at the intense rivalry of that part of the pack, maybe the more people will go, hey, look, you know, maybe this is something to come down and...
Yeah.
Yeah, was it Bronco Billy in the first year? I mean, we've had
Jeff
And
Brown,
Camille.
Yeah, we've had
Yeah.
big names, definitely, in the 100 mile. That's definitely, and, you know, let's not, the times are still quick, insanely quick.
Yeah.
The standard that Kiwis and Australians are running, these 100 milers, they've always been mega hot. Vlad Shatrov's time, you know, Sam's time, they're all fast. There's some lightning times. It's a good, fast course to knock out an incredibly hot 100 mile.
Well, even if you step back from that and look at what year was it? When the podium, so it was, can't remember who won the men's race. And this is the thing, I don't remember who won the men's race, but I remember who was second through fifth. And it was like Louis Schindler, Scott Baugen, and Simon Cochrane being paced by, oh my Lord, he'll murder me. I can see his face. My brain is broken.
Reed?
Yes, thank you. God, sorry, Carl.
Wow, that was a stab in the dark. You nearly got a stab in the dark.
Yeah, I'm going to get a stab in the dark later on. But, you know, they came through within like 90 seconds of each other.
Wow.
You know, like Carl and Simon to pass Scott, they did a 3:47 last kilometre.
Oh.
Yeah.
And what was
ugly.
everybody else finished? Like Fiona Hayvice and...
That was
Katie
excellent.
and-
Fiona
Katie.
Hayvice and
The girls
Katie
run it too.
Katie wrote 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, stick around. Like if you are not running the event and you could be part of standing on the side and laughing at Ali's jokes and applauding in athletes, and just please see the chaos that ensues for the first finishers through to the last. It is so special to be there
Yep.
on that finish line hosting that thing, and like no finish line I've ever seen. And again, right the way through to 4 p.m. on Sunday, it is just an absolute roadblock because everyone comes down again, and it's amazing. Just so cool. Lucky to be there.
No, it is. It is. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to, the competition. And again, like it's that thing, isn't it? It's you're running away to join the circus. You can put your regular life on hold for a couple of days and just come and and seeing all your friends, seeing all the people you've talked to, seeing all the or talking to people. It's super cool. And yeah, if anyone's out there too, if anyone fancies, everyone's living in Auckland and thinking, or in, Rotorua is fairly central to most things.
Yeah.
So come down and check it out. It's really, really cool. Really, really fun day. But I also, one of the things that I think is the most meaningful and one of the most special things that we do is the pōhiri. I really like that at Te Puia. I think that is amazing. And, for us Kiwis, it's a fairly usual part of our life, that the notion of being welcomed somewhere or, or the mihi whakatau or a pōhiri or pōwhiri, depending on where you come from in the country. But seeing people turn up and just like, there's the novelty of it, there's the foreignness of it, and there's the specialness of it, the mana of it. So that's one of my favourite things. If I was an athlete and rang you and was like, hey, I'd like to do the Tarawera 100K and I'd like a training plan for that now, please. And it is January the 19th. Would you say too late?
Yes.
Pile on the Ks. Now's your chance. If you can just get a few 60s done, and the week before, as many kilometres as you could do, just that'll be the best thing you could do for your race day.
A double marathon training plan, just double it.
That's definitely been done.
Yeah.
Have seen it done. Yeah, not successfully, but I know people that have tried it. Yeah.
Even a blind pig will occasionally stumble upon an acorn. So leaving aside that things, it's probably too late to start training if you were wanting to have a long time or a good time at Tarawera, unless you were wanting to enter, 21, 14, depending on your athletic ability, even the 50K, someone could probably, get out and have a hoon and have a good day with some, a fairly minimal training. Not that we recommend that. What are things to consider if you are listening to this podcast and you're gearing up for Tarawera, you're in the last month, and right now, you're probably quietly shitting bricks?
First, I just want to quickly park that you can't change your cardiovascular fitness in any significant way. So don't expect to increase your fitness significantly or even in a measurable way. That's the sort of changes the body, being very plastic, needs to do over sort of 12 to 18 months. So piling it on, if we're 3 or 4 weeks out, then you're just going to, it'll be deleterious, any errand that you run too long. So it's about what changes can you make that would ultimately improve your outcome. And there's going to be a fair list of these, but I will start with one. And I'll just say, heat acclimation is probably a little bit late, but acclimatization is useful. You could still prepare yourself for what will be an ultra marathon that goes through the hottest part of the day, because not many people are finishing their run before midday. So, anticipate that it's going to get hot at some stage. And if you have been doing all of your training first thing in the morning at 5 o'clock in Dunedin, then you'll probably find that the Tarawera forest has got a little bit of a sting in it. So maybe look at just moving some of your regular, taper runs now out towards the middle part of the day and just getting yourself a little bit acclimatized to how that might be, so you're not so shell-shocked when it does come about on race day.
What about you, Ali?
Goodness me. I think probably it's a good one just to remember to taper, because people get really in their head about, I'm doing this event and I've got to be training as much as I can up into it. But just remember to actually taper and go and let yourself freshen up a bit and go in feeling ready and excited to run, rather than feeling pretty slammed from volume and frequency.
And you have to lean into the taper madness.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know. You have to know. You have to know what's going to come. You have to know that every single doubt that you've ever had in your life about your running ability, your relational strengths, or indeed your your worth as a human being will start to tap at the glass and say, hey, you're not going to be able to do it, or whatever. Well, you probably should have handled that interaction better at that business meeting. And that's because you're tapering. You're every single muscle in your body that was tight or not strong is going to tell you at some point, often at 3 a.m. when you're worrying about your interpersonal interactions. Hey, you got to really you got to grit through it. How do you get through that? How do you work the taper madness?
One thing I like to do, because I do the 3 a.m. wake up, but it's thinking about my gear that I'm going to forget, my compulsory gear. And so I'll be like, oh no, I'm going to forget my headlamp, or I'm going to forget my emergency bag, or whatever it is. So I just put it all in a box or a suitcase in the corner of my room. So I go, anytime I use something, I'll put it back in there so that everything is ready to go. So when it's 3 a.m., my mind's not going, oh, you're going to forget that. My mind's going, no, it's okay. It's in the right place. It's going to be in the right place.
Yeah, knowing that you're ahead on your planning is going to make a real big difference. The taper protocol, just quickly to touch on it, is if you're doing one of the longer distances, the 50, 100K or 100 miler, definitely the 100K and 100 miler, I would be looking at a solid 3-week taper. That's reducing by 20% per week in the final 3 weeks. So you take out 20% in the first week, 40% in the second week, and you come down 60% in your training loading, but maintain your training intensities. So if you're, if 5% of your mileage is particularly hard, maintain that 5% mileage as you reduce the percentage of training. And as you get into the shorter distances, 50Ks and below, typically 2 weeks is about okay. And if you're just going to, run till Chun on a short distance, you can probably get away with a one week taper if that's your plan. But those sorts of things. Respect the tapering. Science suggests there's probably about 3 to maximum 5% to be gained in getting the taper correct, as opposed to not doing it all. It seems like not a lot, but it's not nothing. So maybe just do it. Respect it. Carrying too much training load too close to the race is the most deleterious thing that you can do. That's
and there is that thing about feeling fit. You get to rejoice in that sense of if you're doing a sharpening run in a taper, like you're doing, I don't know, 6x400 on track or something like that, right? As part of a taper run, you've had a really good, 8-month block or several blocks in an 8-month period. And I remember doing that and thinking like, I feel so fit. Holy moly. And if I'd just been doing that as part of my normal week, in my peak weeks, I'd be like, I feel like 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag. And that's nice. You can actually take that little, I think too, from a mental health perspective, and not to bring the M word into it because boring, but keeping your world small, I find that really helps me. Like, keep your world small. Like, what can you control? What can you can't? I will always have a minimum amount. So this is how I do it. If I'm packing to go somewhere, I go, okay, if I forgot everything, or mostly everything, what could I get away with doing the event with? So if I've got my pack, I've got my shoes, I've got my inhaler, I'm good. I can buy anything else that I need to at the time. That's really reassuring for me, like thinking it sort of reduces that anxiety. It just sort of sucks things in. Okay, here's what I really need. Here's what's nice to have. But all I need is my shoes, my bag, my pack, and my inhaler, because that's what I need to keep me alive. So, yeah, I think that's a helpful thing.
What can athletes do in the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, do you think, Ali? What else is on the cards for us? What do we get the emails about?
I think the mental side of it is actually a big part. Like, I kind of encourage people to reflect on their training block and recognize what they've done, because often people will go, I got sick for a week here, or I had a niggle for a week here, but actually you had 26 amazing weeks, or something like that. So it's good to kind of go seeking, or like celebrating what you've done rather than kind of finding the things to create doubt. So yeah, have a look through and just go, oh yeah, I did that and I did that run. And another thing I encourage is people building their endurance CV and going, well, I'm the person that has done XYZ. So, like I did a 100K run at Taupo and that all went fine. Or I have run the timber trail back to back, or whatever it is, like, or also non-running related things that you could go, well, actually, I've got all this endurance experience behind me. Like if you're doing the miler, maybe it's like, oh, well, I've worked night shifts before, so I know that I can get through the night on my feet, or that sort of thing. So I think just kind of getting your head in a good space, in a space where you're celebrating yourself rather than finding ways to doubt yourself, because that's quite common as you get closer to a big race, to be kind of seeking out the self-preservation, I guess. And but actually there's a lot of reasons why you should be doing it. There's something else that I was going to say too. Now it's totally gone.
Developing a race day execution, race day plan, looking at how long something's going to take you. That's certainly a worry for a lot of people right now, those that don't know. And I would say probably start by, beware the spreadsheet. There's always at this time of the year someone shares a spreadsheet, and it's usually got the distance, and you divide it by the time you want to run. And therefore, if you wanted to run 100 Ks in 10 hours, well, that's 6 minute Ks. So you do the first kilometre at 6 minutes, you do the kilometre up Western Nukutina at 6 minutes, you do the last kilometre. Like, I always love that, it's a linear extrapolation of information for, within complete data sets. So I'd say just be a little bit careful with those sorts of things, but time goals are good to have, but they're particularly dangerous. If you're one of our athletes, will certainly help you develop your race day plan. But put some thought into it. Spend some time in something like Ultra Pacer, or get an understanding where estimated finishing time will be as a percentile. One of the things I do a lot is look, Matt, if you are always finishing in the 45th percentile for most of your races, or there or thereabouts, so you do Kepler and you finish around about nearly halfway through the field in just about everything that you do, then assume that on race day at Tarawera, you're going to finish roughly something like 50% of the way through the field, or 45% through the field. Dig up last year's results if it's going to be the same sort of course, and then go plug in, where is 45% going to put me? Well, that puts me in about 13 hours and 30 minutes. So therefore, I'm likely to do something like that. And then you just start developing your plan around that, taking into consideration the specificity of the trail and the certain demands of certain times of the day, heat factors, fatigue factors, and those sorts of things. So when you start to pull that stuff together, it does get quite complicated, but just be very careful about how you design your linear application of fitness over time.
Was it Mike Tyson said, no plan survives the first punch in the face?
Yeah. I remember what I was going to say, and it was actually, remember, it's just running, and you go for a run all the time. And if you said to somebody, can you run? Can you hike? Can you eat, drink? Can you pace yourself? And just, have a good old day out there on the trails. Be like, yeah, I can. Like, I think often we overcomplicate these races and get really in our heads about all the things, and actually, if you go back to that, can I go for a run today, is way less pressure on it all.
Yeah, it's really important, isn't it? It's a balance too of I found, like, tuning in those around you and getting energy from that, but also being able to tune people out, because you're dealing with your own level of arousal at any one time, and you're also dealing with everyone else in the conga line that you're running with's level of arousal, and they might be vastly different. And they might be really, and it's interesting, those who know me, I'm a chatty man. I'm a very digressive human being, and I'm a very, I go all over the place, and I'll non-sequitur question statements, all that sort of stuff. When I get really focused on something, or say at work, my mind's on the job, or I am deathly silent, I go very, very quiet. And for me, and people know me, right? So they expect like a very chatty human being, and I might not be a very chatty human being at that point. I might be very, very kind of just very quiet, because I'm thinking through things in my head. And that's interesting too, having to manage other people's chattiness, which is probably God's way of revenge on me for being chatty and starting a podcast. But, just the roll that rock up the hill.
357 podcasts. He's got to be the most talkative person. The cumulative talk minutes on that. I mean, come on, let's go have a yarn. I think that's Matt Raymond. Let's run up to him and have a big old chat about his race.
And I'll always chat. I will always chat. Like, I will always chat. Like 100%. It is never a chore. But that's the thing for me as well, trying to manage, what you're doing. And that's a That's an interesting thing, isn't it? That's about it goes back to keeping your world small, doesn't it? Because you can get caught up with people. You can get caught up in paces, both slow and fast. You can get caught up in narratives. You can get caught up in all that sort of stuff, can't you? And it can lead to taking away from the race that you need to have, which is your own thing. Pound for pound. Oh, yeah, and you'll get sore, it'll be hot, it'll be cold, you might get rained on, you might fall over, you might get blisters. You may have GI distress. If you do have GI distress, please manage that appropriately.
Yeah. Can I just say one
best
thing?
you
Like
can.
when you run an ultra marathon, and I don't want to do the whole races suck, let's goggins about it. I'm just like, it's going to get challenging at some point, and you kind of knew this going into it, and there's nothing to be afraid of. It's still just part of the process, and it's kind of probably what you were seeking in the first place. So when it does arrive, just smile and go, oh, West Nogatana, this does actually really suck. I'm having a real time of it. And I used to think when that moment arrived, a bit 80K into 100K, when I felt like I was ready to cry, I would be smiling manically because it was what I was seeking all along. And I realized in that moment that that's what I wanted to do. And so I think for every ultra marathon, I'm like, you're going to have some hard times, but yay for those hard times because that's what you wanted. Get amongst. Yay.
It's the pain and privilege. It really is.
Yeah.
Yep. You're so lucky. I wish I could.
Right. The races themselves, pound for pound, what's your favourite? And why?
Oh, I didn't expect that question.
I think because we've always kind of gone like, and this is this, and this is this, and this is this, and this is this. And we're kind of but like we all have a favourite. Not like children. Don't have
Oh, you
child.
let's do it now. It's either the 100 or the 50. I love that the 50 where it starts. I just love that we've got that spiritual start, Putu Geyser, and it takes in, some of the best parts of the Whakareurua forest. I love that it goes all the way out to, like, they feel like just like my home trails, you just run on them all the time, Rotokakehi and out to Tikitapu and then, back home to the village green. It's just, I feel like you're really spoiled to get to do that in the Whakareurua forest, and that I think it's been such a massive passageway event for so many people that that was, kind of their first ultra, and it sort of like was the genesis for so much more that followed. And so I think that's probably the special thing I love about the 50K. There's a lot of forestry roads in that, but it's pretty special, and it's probably hosted more athletes than any of the other distances by a long way. And so I think for me, probably I'm going to have to say the 50K. It's fast at the front too, seeing the Michael Vosses of the world, there's guys and girls that are running sort of like, marathon times on a 50K trail ultra is just insane.
What about you, Ali?
Oh, I'm so torn. I agree. I think the 50K is pretty awesome, and it's kind of like, I love that it gets so many people, like locally you get, the lawyer mum that's like, I'm going to train towards this, or, so I love that. The same kind of applies to the 100K though too. So that really gets people, I guess it's that 3-digit number that really appeals to people, and the ridiculousness of it. And also the fact that it's a really world-class race as well. So I love a point to point. Like, I think that's really epic to go, I'm running from, Kawerau to Rotorua. Like, it's two different, I was going to say cities. Kawerau is not a city. But
One day,
anyway,
one day.
Paul Charteris just kicked a hole in a wall in his house.
but that you've got that, that concept, and then also just that the eyes of the world are watching this race. Like, how epic is that? And that then the images are broadcast, and people are seeing our beautiful, hopefully, tempting fate now, New Zealand summer with the forests and the lakes and, the geothermal, and that gets showcased to the world. And the athletes, people want to know about it. So there's so much that I love about that 100K, because it's got that, the real, the people, and it's inclusive. So you see the people that'll really hike it out and take their time, and it's a massive challenge. And then you see the racing and the imagery, and that's what to me, and also the haka that welcomes in the winners. Like, to me, that always gets me in the feels. You've got someone who's just raced 100Ks, and then they get welcomed in, and the emotion is just so genuine, and it's this really true cultural experience that, so that's, I think, probably the 100K now that we've fleshed this out.
The 50 and now the 100. Yep.
What about you, Matt?
No, definitely the 100K, and it's not that it's not necessarily the distance. I think I'm all about and all for just because, and I take this from you, Kerry, you know, just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know, just, you know, the 100K was the original. All the best people in my estimation and all the people I looked up to and some real legends ran the 100K, and I joined that club. And even though, you know, sort of to this day, I'm quite hard on myself about stuff, it's like, hey, I'm in that club. I did it, you know, and I did it going kauro. I did it rotorua to kauro. I didn't do it kauro to rotorua.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a part of that. So for my own thing, I'm like, yeah, it was, you know, when it finished in kauro. And, but I also think for the 100K, it's the ultimate mullet, isn't it? It's the ultimate mullet. You've got at the start, you've got the fastest, sharpest knives, the shiny diamonds, as you guys say. And then you've got the party wave, and it's an event that, you know, it really tests people, and it's also, you know, it takes some people 24 hours, it takes some people 9 hours and less. It's a cool thing. It's a cool spectator thing too. So yeah, I like the 100K. I think it's
Can we have a quick plug for the 100 miler? Because, you know, the heart goes out. It's taken your soul a couple of times, both through the training process and in the execution process, and mine too. You know, when the course was first being put together, Tim Day and Chris Townley and myself, that we went out to go and do it. And, you know, Chris Townley buckled and couldn't go on. Tim buckled and couldn't go on, and I got afraid of the dark and couldn't go on. So, you know, like even before that event started, I was the first person. I was one of the first people to ever DNF in that thing. So, you know, like it's just been such a mega challenge for so many people trying something big for the first time, and it's so cool.
absolutely. I'll also say, and here's just a little thing from a perspective, and you know, you hear people say, "Oh, it's an easy miler," right? And I guess comparatively, yes, it's not hard rock. Yes, it's not 1/3 of Tour de Jar or Ultra Trail Mont Blanc or whatever. It's still a very long way to run. And there's not a day when I finished and I didn't have the, like, yeah, I did feel like a bit of a dick when I finished. Just quietly, had my quiet moment of, I feel like a bit of a dick because I did put the effort in. I did do the try. I did everything. Did everything right. You know, I did everything. And, but there hasn't been a day this year that I haven't looked back and actually taken something positive from that failure. And that's something that I would encourage people too, you know, if you're considering the 100 miles, you know, the success of doing it is one thing. The lesson from not achieving it is another. And what you need to take back and what you need to, you know, what you take going forward, what you learn about yourself, the good times. You know, I remember running from Outlet, all that point until I started hallucinating and throwing up. It was throwing up first, then it was hallucinating. Was just the best. It was so much fun. Oh, you know, running back ahead of Whakaitu in the boiling heat on a flat, like patchwork quilt dairy farm, and just going, oh, this sucks. And I was listening to a podcast about the Financial Standards Management Authority or something. I don't know why I was doing that. Glad for it took my mind off the dairy farm, but that was fun too. No, yeah, exactly. But yeah, lean into that challenge. And you're right, Kerry. It's it's a distance that must be respected.
Oh yeah.
And many people, you know, and that's the thing. Many people have, and I think about, you know, Carl Reid after I finished and I was feeling sorry for myself. He goes, hey man, I've DNF'd the same place you did twice. He's done all right in sports.
He has.
And then celebrate being on the start line and being healthy, ready to go, because you don't know how you're going to go. And I think that, you know, half the journey at least is showing up. You see so many entries being, you know, sold on or, you know, being passed on, and now and people that can't make it to the event because something's gone wrong or commitments have changed. You know, like if you are one of the lucky ones that managed to get there on the start line and you're part of it, and you know, you hear us or Ali or Martin or yourself sending you away, like, you know, how grateful you are that you get to have, you know, this experience. We'll never be part of, you know, the muddy trenches of Europe. You know, this is
Hopefully.
These are, these are
Hopefully.
these
Yeah.
days are your battle
Hey,
days.
2026, be quiet.
Trump 2027.
Stop it. The oh, we just lost Alabama, Kerry. Come on, man.
Come back. Well, it's politics. Get in the straight line states.
The the 14K. I'm stoked for that.
Yep.
So excited about it. Like because we need to talk about it. There's the 21K and the 14K, and what better way to get into trail running or just to have a short and spicy hit out, because it's actually not. It's not, the 21K is not an easy course.
Well, Hātarawa Trig is a thing.
Absolutely.
For the 21K.
Yeah, but the 14K
And then
goes over
14K.
Hātarawa.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's nothing to joke about, Pohātaro Trig.
Yeah, it's cool. And amazing views over the geyser in the town and the lakes and those sort of things. So you actually kind of get sport for it, even the short race. You get to be part of the big dance without, like spending all night, was it, hallucinating and throwing up? Throwing up then hallucinating. Yeah,
That's right. But I think too, and standing on the, if I, and this is my own selfishness, I mean, the most tears that I've cried emceeing events, right, have been at the UTA 11K and the 21. Like, dead set. Like, those people are battling. There are some stories there where, you've got, I remember, your classic Aussie granddad farmer. He looked like he was out of central casting, like well-to-do, tough Aussie farmer. He looked like he'd come out of central casting, and he was there for his granddaughter, and he comes up to me and he goes, oh, he's this tough dude. He looked really sheepish. Has she finished yet? Oh, her name's, I can't remember her name, but she's got some troubles with her self-confidence. He was really, really worried. Yeah. And then she came across the line and he got really emotional and I just lost my shit. And it comes out from the balls of your feet. I felt it sort of rising up above, I love the shorter races. They're amazing because it's people literally finding their feet for the first time. Hey,
we often say that the race needs to be sponsored by some sort of a tissue company because we'll cry buckets on the finish line. You get all sorts of things, people welcome one another. And I remember, hugging an athlete and she was covered in sweat and snot and all kinds of things. And she was sitting on one of the resin chairs. And as she went to go, she said, "Can you please wipe down the chair because I've shat myself. I didn't have time to stop." And so, you see it all in these races. People put it all out there and they're willing to risk anything to get it to the finish line. And so, these are the things that go on in our sport. And, it's just, you shouldn't say it's not normal. It's abnormal. It's extraordinary. But, people are out there doing it at any age. So cool.
The race needs to be sponsored by Clorox because we get used as lectins by people. And you come out, you feel like a lamb to the slaughter. You turn up, you feel good, you've had a sleep, you've got your deodorant on, you might have a little bit of after whatever, and then within 5 minutes you've been mobbed by sweaty runners. But we love it. We love it. So there we go. We love the 100K, we love the 50K, and we love the 14K as well. That's going to be exceptional. And they put that on, they were talking about too, like people who've had a chance to crew.
Yeah.
Maybe it's their day. And some people will back up from the 100. Someone will do it.
Oh, no.
I was thinking that, 100 mile.
No.
Someone's going to do it. Sure.
We've got to do a poll on the start line. Who did something yesterday? That's the thing. Okay, right. That's on the commentary notes. We're doing that.
Yeah. Who did something yesterday? Yeah, absolutely.
But the other thing I love about that is that it's a younger age. So now we'll have more younger athletes that will be able to take part in Tarawera, which is pretty cool as well.
Should we be brushing up on our lexicon? Should we be changing are we meant to do, is there a 6-7 joke we need to be working into our commentary?
Oh my God, I failed at the 6-7 joke.
Yeah, it was a clanger, holy moly.
So I was doing the kids warm up at the goat and they were all into it. And then I was like, okay. And I tried to do the hand signal thing for 6-7 and they were all just like, no.
Yeah.
And it was like, if I was a comedian, I would have been booed off stage. It was so bad. Anyway,
Oldest
so no,
person
6-7.
in
No,
Raccoon's
it's not
moment?
cool anymore.
Nope. Sorry.
Yeah, with our kids, we've missed the 6-7 thing. They're just a little bit too old for it. So I'm glad of it.
New memes 2026, let's go.
Do not know what that means. Right. Yeah. The shiny diamonds. The elites.
Yes.
I'm looking at this list and my God. So let's not run down it like a phone book, but let's pick some Let's pick some people out. Who are we thinking? Let's put some skin in the game. Tarawera Maila 2026 Women's Elite Field. And taking into account, there's always dark horses. There's always people who are going to come out of the mist, literally and figuratively, and have a chance at a podium, have a chance at a win who aren't on the elite pathway. And likewise, elites get hurt. So who are we thinking?
I don't know a lot about Alyssa Clark. She's meant to be kind of the top UTMB index, but I mean, Kanoka Izumi, she's a diehard in the scene. So I'm going to go for a Kanoka.
What about you, Kerry?
I believe in the numbers that they pump out of France and wouldn't dare ignore them for a moment. Alyssa's got the win for me. I know it's a long race and anything can happen, but I think she's got the wheels on it. So if I was a gambling man, I think she's probably not where I put my $10.
See, I'm saying no because she's coming from an American winter into a New Zealand summer.
Oh, I like that you've gone for that. Yeah, that's good consideration.
We'll see.
Yep.
Matt, what are your thoughts?
Oh, Kanoka Izumi all the way. Kanoka and Fang Yuan win 1-2. And Kanoka's proudly, she reps the 09. And so we were driving to family Christmas and Lola and Lily were like, who's that running along Beach Road or Deep Creek Road? Kanoka Izumi, Christmas Day. She's training.
Oh.
Of course.
She's getting after it.
She's actually Father Christmas.
Yeah, she meant to, if you run on Christmas Day, and she meant to wear a Santa suit. Was that it?
She's
And she DNF'd last year.
Yeah.
So she's got redemption in her, that's a hardy motivator. The men's race, not so international, but spicy.
I mean, numbers wise, Sam's got them. I know Simon Cochrane has really wants redemption. So yeah, but I don't know. Like, I don't know these other names, and also like I've actually had guys from overseas asking for paces for the miler who want to run some pretty slick times. So if they run what they are hoping to run, then Sam's got a lot of competition.
That's often how it is with the 100-mile men's and women's race. So, we might give you some names, but it'll be all eyes on the Tarawera app, I think, on race day to see things unfold in ways. They're not often just completely forks. You see someone like, say, Vlad Shatrov having a great run at Rere Whakaitu, and then, the wheels come off, or, it could be Simon, like it could be anyone. So it's often how it goes. But, my heart, I'm going to bet with my heart and say, Simon Cochrane, let's do it. I love you, brother.
Yeah, I think it's going to be super interesting. You've got Sam Harvey, who is, and I did workshop this. It's like a boner pill from a gas station became sentient and got sponsored by Puma. He's an animal.
What line was that?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. He is. My son wears a T-shirt that says gas station boner pills, and it's got a rhino on it. And I'm like, yeah, it kind of sums up Sam's vibe. And if we're being more serious, he also said at the spectacle, he goes, I'm seeing a sports psychologist this week. So he's learning.
Ooh.
Yeah. He's learning to channel some of that blithe aggression, right?
Yeah, there's always space for that.
The rivalry between him and Simon Cochrane. I mean, they're both, in that wolf diagram, they're both vying for that alpha spot, right? So that is going to be fierce. No matter where they end up in the field, they're going to be fighting each other, and
they're watching each other's training. They're really trying to pick
absolutely,
these things.
Absolutely. Blake Szymanski, coached by Sam, took out the spectacle. Myla in amazing times. That he beat everyone home, including us, because we were, we got told to be there at a certain time, and he was like an hour quicker. What was that?
He was a lot faster than he was meant to be.
He was a lot faster than he was meant to be. I don't know. With my heart, I like Damien Watson. So he was the last guest on Dirt Church Radio last year. He's one of the Muriwai Sea Slugs. He's co-owner of the Muriwai Delhi. He also, has been smashing out 200-mile races in the States. He was 4th at the New Zealand Trail Championships. So he was, I think, Sam was 2nd.
Yeah.
And he was 4th. So, he is a big, strong, very tough, very strong man. So I don't know if he'd have the raw speed of someone like, Sammy or Simon. But, he's got the mental strength, and he knows, essentially, if you can, if you're running 200-mile races at that speed. But I think it will come down to either Sam or Simon. We'll see how it goes. But I mean, and another thing I'd say to Sam is stay away from the $2.50 oysters, bro, before your races. Did you see that?
No.
He got into the $2.50 oysters. It was an oyster special before the half marathon that he ran recently, and then they kicked their way out of his body. So
I laughingly said 70 minutes or rip, but I didn't realise it was going to be rip. So
yeah,
I didn't realise what he ripped. Okay, I feel sorry for you, Sam. So
Ripping some voice.
yeah, rip something.
but I mean, regardless of who wins, it's going to be an excellent time and excellent human beings. So bring it on. In the 102, I mean, this is the glory race, isn't it? It's you've got golden tickets. You get to, you're the kai whakahaere of the race. You get to represent at the Pōhiri next year. All of that sort of stuff. Who are we thinking?
If I'm betting with my heart, it's Lucy Bartholomew all the way, but it's going to have to be a very big heart to get her in first. I have a big heart. We could do it. Come on, Australasia, let's get behind her.
What do you think?
She's, I mean, God, if I had my way, Lucy would win.
She's in good shape.
She has been running really well.
Yeah.
So I think her UTMB index is underselling how competitive she's going to be in this race. I mean, looking at the top name, Tony McCann, and then Caitlin Fielder's not far behind her. Caitlin had a massive run at 2 bays recently. She's looking like she's really back in form. I'm also, we haven't seen the name Ruth Croft on any of these start lines yet. So I'm like, what's she doing? Is she going to pop her head up?
Ooh.
So, yeah, so I actually think Caitlin Fielder. What do you think, Matt?
I mean, this is the thing. You got Steph Austin, Juliet Sewell. She's crazy fast and smart. Beth McKenzie knows how to throw down. But
it's really strong. Very strong.
Absolutely. But it's
Holly
for me,
Branson too. She was second place at track 24 hours. She's pretty tough at World Championships, so she's pretty blimmin' slick.
That 2 base time's too much for me. Clearly,
Yeah.
I got to say that I think Caitlin Fielder's probably up against it. That run at 2 base was absolutely ridiculous.
Sorry, Matt. Yeah. I got excited when I was thinking.
No, I can't. And this is the conceit of actually getting to know these people and sit with them for ages and talk to them multiple times. You get that sense of who they are as human beings, and it would mean a lot for both of them to win. I'm going to take the dialectic approach where two things can be true at the same time. I can't differentiate. I mean, I think Lucy Bartholomew, that would be amazing. And, lots of love to you and your family, Lucy. You've had a hard time recently. Lots of love to Ash. And wouldn't it be good for the hometown girl, Caitlin Fielder, to take the win? She's a hometown girl. So yeah, I can't. I mean, there's rice paper between her and Lucy, I think. On to the men's.
I mean, Peter Engdahl with his UTMB index 922 is insane. And then Jedwo, and we saw Jia Xing Shen at UTA. So the caliber, the tightness of the racing is going to be really interesting to see. The caliber of athletes is really, really high. So I'm going top dog, though. I'm going Peter Engdahl.
I was really impressed with Shen Jiexing's run at UTA last year. Just tireless, didn't seem to slow down at all. Just always working, and so consistent with pace, and just managed it so well. And I think it was really, really intelligent, and it was a powerful thing to watch. So it was maybe pretty dominant performance, and anything like that again would make him a contender for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I mean, I look at Janice Kowalczyk as well, someone like Charlie Hamilton stepping up to the distance, Ronnie Spark. I mean, he's deadly.
Yeah.
This is the thing, isn't it? It you don't know.
Nah.
You don't. You know based on aerobic efficiency and UTA numbers, which again, as you say, Kerry, I kind of trust too, because they, they're not for nothing. But on the day, anything can happen. So
I mean, Michael Voss, hometown hero, he's won so many laps around Rotorua in the marathon, and I feel like he's he's run some incredible 50k times for Tarawera, and he's yet to get his 100k right. And if he does, it would just be electric to imagine to see like literally local town hero have a good run, and I hope he does. I think he could really be in the ring with the best of them, and he's got the mileage experience, and now he's a father. It's all for Michael to do here, and he can show the world. Let's go, Michael.
The 50k. I mean, this is the point end of this is so pointy. It's always a shock when they come over the line so quickly.
So and it will be quick. I think it's interesting in the women's. We've got you've got Robin Leach at the top of this list, but actually Rena Ringy, who's from Australia, incredible marathoner. She obviously doesn't have heaps of UTMB index races behind her, but I think she's actually going to be one that will be right up there. She's probably my pick. I really like and Emily Hallgood as well. We know she's a really experienced, amazing athlete. But also, like from our time at UTA, Sarah Levitt's running. Love her to bits. Be great to see her have a good day out as well.
She brings a dog over. That'd be pretty cool. What's the dog called? Taco or
it was good,
like
Taco. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. I think Robin Leach she's so smart. I mean, like again, she's a big old brain on that woman. You listened to her on Dirt Church Radio. She was talking about what she did to her PhD or her postgrad studies and what she was doing, and she's just incredible. Racing really consistently in the States, and it would be cool to see her. What was she, third or fourth last year? Was she third place? And she absolutely ate it in the finishing shoot.
Yeah.
And actually, like the central governor theory we're done. Right. She plumped onto the ground and then back up and sort of lurched across the line. She really did leave it all out on the trail. So it'd be cool to see her come back and win. But also, if you're going to back anywhere, back the Blue Mountains. It'd be cool to see Sarah Levitt take it out.
What do you reckon, Kerry?
The 50k is just so heckin' bonkers. Like, it really suits, those marathon athletes. But we saw with, say, Hayden Hawkes last year that he's being, chased by, incredibly exceptional marathoners that are running sort of 220 marathons. And, he just has the legs because of the endurance training to find that extra sort of 8 kilometres that's required to get to the Village Green. And so, like, whilst we've got some incredibly spicy marathon times in there, I think it's going to go to the wise old hats that have done the bigger ultras. That'll probably get us through on race day. But if you do get the chance to come see it. Otherwise, Tiki Tapu, they often pass through there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Whilst we're starting the 21/22, so sort of seeing the lead runners come through there is pretty special.
And lastly, the men's 50.
This is going to be quite spicy. So I don't know anything about Liam Mayrow from the USA, who's got the highest UTMB index. But we did see Sam Rout have a great run at UTA 50 last year, and Jack Harris just smashed the spectacle. Jack's been just, I think, going from strength to strength. So, and I mean, so I'm kind of hoping it might be Jack Harris just because I think he's such a wonderful person. But, we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Sam Rout fan. I mean, Whangarei guy.
Yeah.
I like that. And there's that point of difference too. I like that. And you see with Jonah Jackson, Jack Harris, it's not like so much of our sport's dominated by people who live in like the lower South Island, because obviously there's mountains there and what have you. Mm-hmm. But Sam trains in the Glenbervie Forest, which is like Riverhead on steroids. And it would be like what Whakarewa is if they just cut everything down.
Yeah.
Like at the same, yeah, exactly. You go like, it's just a road. Yeah, he's rad. So, but again, yeah, Jack Harris, amazing. Jonah Jackson, he's no slouch.
Yeah.
So it will be incredible to see.
I'm
And it'll be good to see
Bob
Sam coming back from injury too. You know, he had a great run at UTA.
Sorry,
so humble
Kiwis
too.
the Kiwis are so strong on this course. I think that Jonathan Jackson's held the record for the 50K previously. I think him and Michael have traded blows with it previously. I think he's got the experience. It could just be the closet club runner in me, but I think, I think Jonathan Jackson's got it. There we go.
Fantastic.
Closeted road club runner. That's
Closet club runner.
out of myself.
That could actually be a club.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic. Shout out to FRB running as well. That's a club. If you go to Parkrun, you can sign up for FRB running, become part of that club. Not that you'd want to, but I'll tell you what it stands for after.
After.
Yeah. No. What do we? I'm gonna leave that in. What do you? Final thoughts heading into Tarawera. This. We're 3 weeks out. What do we hope for the most? What do we want to see? What are you most? I know we talked about sort of most looking forward to, but sort of final thoughts. What are your final thoughts?
I'm going to give out as many hugs as I possibly can. It's hard to hug someone in a wheelchair, but I'd love to get amongst. I'm down on hugs this year, so I just want to try and hug as many people as I can. I'm really looking forward to hosting. I feel like there's been a lot of changes in my life in the last sort of 6 months and 2 years, and so just sort of just seeing the unchanging nature of Tarawera as everything else around it has changed. So, yeah.
What about you, Ali?
I'm hoping for a good weather forecast, to be honest.
Just don't want to be standing in the rain for 36 hours.
And just looking forward to catching up with everyone. Just, enjoying the area, having fun, and enjoying spending their fitness in the way that they are.
What about you, Matt?
I'm looking forward to, and we haven't got full disclosure, we haven't got our roster yet, so we don't know what we're going to be quite doing. I'm hoping I get to start some races because I love that. It's one of my favourite things to do in the world is start people off, send people off, hold that space. So that's cool. I love that. I love that energy. I feed off that energy. Really, really exciting. Looking forward to hearing people's stories. Looking forward to hanging out at the finish line with you guys. Looking forward to doing interviews. Looking forward to hanging out on the rails in the wee hours of the morning, hanging out on the rails, talking to people, getting people's stories. You hear the most amazing things that never make it onto bloody podcasts or anything. And even if they did, it would be overwhelming because they're so special and profound. The whole thing. So that's me. But
those finish line chats are pretty cool. Like just chatting to people and you meet the most ridiculous thing. Who was Ruth Croft chatting to last year? It was like, was it AJ Hackett?
Yeah, it was
and
AJ
just having a chat to Ruth Croft. Whilst I'm talking to a guy from Australia who's like, I was out in an ultra the other day and I got hit by lightning. And you're like, how are these things? What planet am I on? This is not normal.
A couple of years ago, this woman walks down. She's with her mate. They're eating ice creams. It's about 6 or 7 in the evening. They've obviously been at Eat Street. They've gone to Lady Jane's. She's walking down and she's just looking at she's got this real quizzical look on her face, like sort of like that kind of look that people get where it's like, white people, weird. Like, what are they doing? They've been doing, and I said to her, she goes, what are they doing? Like, she's literally said to me, what are they doing? What's going on here? And I said, it's an ultra marathon. She's like, what's an ultra marathon? Got talking to her and I said to her in about 5 minutes into the conversation, I said, like, excuse me, I don't mean to be rude, but are you Ruby Tui? And, Olympian, black fern, 7-star, just one of the premier premier rugby players in the world. And she goes, yeah, my name's Ruby Tui. And sort of getting to chat to this paragon of New Zealand sport, global sport actually, global women's sport, around what was happening. And she was like, no way, that's, like, I think it still had the kind of white people sort of, like, what are these people doing? And that was really cool. That was really, really, really cool. Of course, Lola and Lily ran over and got their photo taken. They were like, Ruby Tui. So
That's amazing.
But we just treat everyone the same, like whether you're the first runner or the last runner across and anyone in between. It's like, we'll make as much noise for you and treat you. Everyone gets the same red carpet treatment. And I guess that's one of the special things.
100%. And that's one of the coolest things too. And to, to Ruby Tui's credit, she stuck around for ages and was cracking people in and, getting amongst it. Yeah, no, that was really, really cool.
Well, the other cool thing that we haven't mentioned is the DCR speed dating.
Yes.
So,
Yes, second year
we're going to do speed
in
dating
a
again.
row.
It's Valentine's weekend.
It's Valentine's weekend. Are we doing the green ribbon thing again?
Probably.
Can someone bring a roll of green ribbon, and if you're a single looking to mingle, just clip it onto your pack or something? And I don't know if you want to start that. I don't want to be part of it, but sure, go. Green ribbon. Speed dating. Yeah, come see some of
Autonomous
the-
intimacy. Speed dating. Yeah. So we're going to have people up on stage. We're going to have a bunch of elites up on stage. We're going to make them do shots, eat a tray of chocolates, and then tell us their innermost secrets all within 2 minutes. Probably not those first two, but
probably not the
we're
first.
going to be doing speed dating.
Can you feed foreigners like a mince and cheese? Like just some like real like Kiwiana Vegemite sandwiches or Marmite sandwiches?
Have you ever had a kinner? Here.
Oh yeah, actual kinner. Yeah. Oh, let's do it. Come on.
I maybe post race.
Power pies.
I would much rather have a kinner pre-race than post-race. Not that I'm into kinner. I'm
Astro
not
Lowe's at an aid station.
Yeah. Imagine that. Yeah, we're going to take it one step further. Pizza, sold hat, kinner. That's
Yeah.
what we're doing. Imagine that out in the sun, Miller Road for hours. We've run out of ice. Anyway, on that note, we'll be leaving you to it. Enjoy your taper. Luxuriate in the feeling of being uncomfortable and know that you've worked very, very hard. Be kind to your crew and your family because they're the people supporting you and they're the people who are going to be sweeping up your broken ass after the event. And we will see you in a couple of weeks at Tarawera. I'm Matt Raymond.
I'm Ali Pottinger.
And I've been Kerry Suter.
And this has been Dirt Church Radio. Send us in your greatest run ever. I've kind of buggered it up. I've been saying this every time for 7 years, but if we were going to read off the script, we'd say we're on all the podcast platforms, so like, follow, and give us a rating. It helps. We're on the social media at Dirt Church Radio. You can email us at dirtchurchradio@gmail.com. Don't forget to sign up to our Substack for a weekly newsletter and aid station podcast. Don't forget to write in with your greatest run ever. We'd love to hear from you. You can also read them on the website. Thanks to our supporters Further Faster. That's it. Those guys at Squadron and our Substack subscribers in the DCR aid station crew. Stay tuned for our show in 2 weeks when we have another great guest lined up, Mate Wā.